All right, so today we're going to talk about vertical shifts. So given the sine function, we're going to figure out the vertical shift. The nice thing is this is the same as quadratic or absolute value or really any function that we've talked about, polynomials, whatever. So our outside number, so the number that's on the outside of our function, outside of our parentheses, represents our vertical shift. So if it's plus 3, that means we go up 3. If it's minus 7, that means we go down 7. So it's like we're lifting the graph off the board and we're shifting the entire graph up and down. We're not changing anything else. So this number on the outside of our function, separated by a plus or minus, is telling us our vertical shift. So over here, that means that our vertical shift, notice there's no amplitude change, there's no period change, but we have this number, if there are no parentheses, and we assume it's on the outside of parentheses. So we have this number, minus 2, meaning that we're going to shift down 2. So if my original midline was here at 0 or on the x-axis, that means my midline is going to shift down a distance of 2. So what I would do is I would go ahead and draw a dotted line here, and I'm going to, for us, label this as the midline. So this is the midline. This is where the middle of our function is going to be. Now, we don't have any amplitude changes, so we assume that our amplitude is 1, because that is a 1 sine, meaning that instead of our maximum being up here at positive 1 of our original function in the dotted line, our maximum is now technically going to be at negative 1, a distance of 1 going up from the midline, and then the minimum would be a distance of 1 going down from the midline. So my new maximum is going to be right here at negative 1, and my new minimum is going to be right here at negative 3. I don't think it's necessary for you to say that this is the max and that's the min. You just hopefully would know that. And so here's my midline. Now, if I wanted to graph this, see what this looked like, where does the sine function start? Well, the sine function starts at our midline, right? It normally started at our origin, but now because we're shifting down, whether we shift up or down, it doesn't matter. Sine starts at our midline. So we're going to start our point here at our midline. Our next tick mark, we're going to go to the maximum, and then minimum, or I'm sorry, back to midline, and then down to our minimum, and back up to our midline. If we continued this pattern, so max, mid, min, back to midline, back to maximum, finally back down to our midline. Here is what this sine function would look like. And we keep going. So really, if we focus on where the black dotted line was, and we lifted this black dotted line, our parent function, off the board, and we just shifted it down a distance of 2. So down a distance of 2. If I would have drawn this perfectly, the black line would land on the green line. So we didn't stretch it horizontally, we didn't stretch it vertically, we didn't do anything to it other than just shifting it down a distance of 2. So I would give you the advice that whenever we have a vertical shift, label your midline with a dotted line, and then find your maximum and your minimum and draw 2 more dotted lines.